Ann Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostess. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper.
Chow time.
Here your desk, Topper. We brought your lunch.
Now, look, you two, you can just wheel that contraption out of here. These pills are my lunch. Where are you, anyway?
At your service.
All you need to fix up your tummy is a nice, light Italian lunch.
Italian food? Ha, I'll explode.
Nonsense. Here we are. Minestrone. Parmigiana gorgonzola. Oh, lasagna. Rigatoni siciliano. Pasta fagioli and a spumoni.
George, I can't digest that.
Look, if I can pronounce it, you can digest it.
Now, look here, I won't eat it. And you're taking up a lot of my valuable time.
Don't be silly, Topper. You have to eat.
Yeah, we'll start out with a nice double order of spaghetti al dente.
Now, go on, you two. You've got to get out of here.
George, some people don't like anyone watching while they're eating.
Okay, boss. But he's getting this spaghetti.
No, George, no, I beg you, please. No spaghetti. George, please. Really.
Topper. What in the world are you doing?
Oh, I was just checking the tape on the Italian stock market. Okay. Topper.
What are you doing there, Topper?
Well, every 4 months we go through and clean out the safety deposit boxes on which the rents are delinquent. Like this one here. You see? Let's see. Box 60892. Oh, this is rather an unusual one.
Unusual?
Yes, the rent was paid 20 years in advance. It's just run out.
What was in it?
Well, let's see. Oh, well, no wonder he didn't bother to claim it. It's nothing but 100 shares of some outfit called Felton Tool.
Hey, hold it, Topper. Felton Tool.
Yes, probably not worth the paper it's printed on.
Oh, I think you're mistaken, Topper, old boy. This happens to be one of the original blocks of Felton Tool.
Well, that may be so, but that was 20 years ago. I've never even heard of Felton Tool.
Well, it just so happens that in 1938, Felton Tool absorbed control of the B&L Railroad.
B&L Railroad? Why, that's a blue chip stuff.
Precisely.
Precisely, he says. The boy wonder of Wall Street.
I happen to be an expert on stock, and whoever owns this is probably a millionaire.
It was originally issued to one Wesley Farrington.
Why, after 20 years of accumulated dividends, there's no telling how much it's worth.
Well, of course, it's perfectly idiotic for me to take your word on a thing like this. But I can't afford to take chances. I'm scared Mr. Schuyler to check it.
You can rest assured I'm giving you straight dope.
George, how do you know about the stock?
Before I married you, my sweet, I happen to have had a seat on the curb. Trust me, Topper.
Well, I hope you're right. I'd hate to go in there and make a fool of myself in front of Schuyler. George, tell me truthfully, did you really have a seat on the curb?
I can prove it. Look.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. But there it is in black and white, Mr. Meeker. Since you're the president and chairman of the board of the B&L, I contacted you immediately.
But who owns this stock? Where is he?
Why, his name is,
Wesley Farrington.
Yes, but we don't know where he is.
You mean he doesn't know what the stock is worth?
We assume that he doesn't.
Well, then it's very simple. We just take this stock and tear it up.
No, really, Mr. Meeker, that would hardly be ethical.
Who's thinking about ethics? Only the three of us would ever know.
The five of us.
Yes, the five of us.
What do you mean, five?
There's you and Mr. Schuyler and me and you
This man's a mental case. There's only one solution to this whole mess, and I'm holding it right in my hands. I'll just tear it up into little pieces, and nobody'll ever be the wiser.
Get it, George.
No, don't.
Papa, how did you do that?
Oh, heredity. My uncle Ladislaus was a magnetic pole.
Papa, he was one of our big accounts. And since you feel so strongly in the matter, I think you have a slight job on your hands. Find Wesley Farrington.
But we haven't heard of him for 20 years. How am I to go about it?
I don't know, but you've got to find him.
Yes, but how?
You use radar. Use jet propulsion. Use a magic carpet.
Don't fight with him, Topper. We'll help you.
If he wants you to use a magic carpet, we'll show him you can.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Oh, nothing. I was just going.
One of us is crazy. I don't want to say anything. I might be the one.
Snap out of it, Topper, old boy. We found him.
What?
We found Wesley Farrington.
I even got his address for you. Here, 65 Shoreview Drive.
Not very scientific, but I'm grateful. I'd better get over there right away.
Well, hey, we're going with you.
All right. Only disappear before we get out of the house.
It's a deal. What? Are you leaving?
Yes, dear. I think we found Wesley Farrington. We're just going over there now.
We?
The three of us. You two go first. Well, goodbye, dear.
Cosmo.
I forgot Neil. Come on, boy. Neil's a dog.
A dog. Must have been a Mexican hairless without the hair. Without the dog.
You sure you got that address right, George?
Yep.
Well, we're clear down to the river, and there doesn't seem to be any 65 Shoreview Drive.
Well, that's the address I heard.
But, George, you can see there is no such address.
Hey, wait a minute. I get it now. That must be the number of the slip where he keeps his yacht.
Well, we're not getting anywhere standing here. You two disappear while I go and ask that tramp over there if he can help us.
Okay, but I'll bet it's a yacht.
Oh, pardon me. Do you happen to know if any yachts are kept along by the river here?
Yachts? No, none that I know of. Mine happens to be in dry dock, having fresh barnacles put on it.
He's funnier than you are, George.
Yeah, look at that hokey outfit he has to wear.
Please, I'm talking.
Well, go ahead and talk. It's a free country.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm looking for a man. Have you by any chance heard of Wesley Farrington?
Heard of him? Sure.
Oh, good. Then perhaps you know where he lives.
I sure perhaps do. Hey, Wesley, you got company?
Did you call me, Shorty?
Yeah, this guy wants to see you. There he is, Wesley Farrington.
You're Wesley Farrington?
I am, sir.
Topper, he's a bum.
A bum.
May I say, sir, that your powers of observation greatly exceed your sense of tact?
I'm very sorry, but you see, I was rather surprised. This is where you live?
Periodically. You see, my friends and I have just returned by rail from a journey to the Middle West.
Oh, did you by any chance ride on the B&L Railroad?
Not on it, my dear sir. Under it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must see how Shorty is progressing with the luncheon.
Tell him, Topper.
Give me time.
Time, sir? That I can give you in great abundance. If time were onions, I would be living in a sea of tears.
No, you don't understand. I came here to...
Done to a king's taste, Shorty, my friend. But perhaps
A pinch more of salt would bring out the bouquet. Yes, that should suffice, I believe. Hey, look, here comes Cupid. Good. Now we can serve lunch.
Hey, fellas, look. We get bread with our lunch today. A little old lady give it to me.
Yeah, I bet he broke her arm getting it.
Hey, who is this guy?
Oh, I don't believe you introduced yourself, sir. These are my good friends, Shorty and Cupid.
How do you do? I'm Cosmo Topper.
Here, dig in.
Well, no, really,
Oh, don't be that way, Topper.
Sit down and eat.
Hey, how come you put your stew on your head?
Well, you see, I can't keep a thing on my stomach.
You'd better eat, Topper. We can make you look awfully silly.
Right, Joe. Right. By Jove, this is good, isn't it? As a matter of fact, it's delicious. I can't believe it. I've had 4 helpings of stew and my stomach feels wonderful.
Topper, let's get down to business, huh?
Mr. Farrington, do you recall 20 years ago buying 100 shares of Felton Tool?
Felton Tool. Yes, I believe I do remember. Only I didn't buy it. You see, I was working as a gardener on the estate of a wealthy man, and he gave me the stock as a gift. I believe I put it in a safety deposit box.
Well, Mr. Farrington, you better brace yourself. That stock now represents a controlling interest in B&L Railroad and is worth roughly $6.5 million.
You don't say. That's quite an amount, isn't it?
This guy doesn't shock easy.
This is my most prized possession.
I think he's a little touched.
Mr. Farrington, I'm telling you that you're worth $6.5 million.
Oh, it's not that I'm unappreciative, sir. It's just that I place contentment and peace of mind over monetary things. As the purse is emptied, the heart is filled. Victor Hugo said that.
Victor Hugo? I think I fought him once up in Spokane.
Ah, you dope. You never fought Victor Hugo. He was a middleweight. Are you trying to tell me that you don't want the money?
Frankly, sir, I'm not so sure as I do.
Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to have that money, Wesley.
Yeah. We could wear underwear this winter and put fresh newspapers in our shoes every day.
You could do a lot for your friends, Mr. Farrington.
Yes, I never thought of it quite that way. All right. We'll hold a board meeting. Would you excuse us while we adjourn to my private quarters?
Certainly.
Boys?
What's the matter with that guy?
Yeah, willing to turn down all that money, and he's dead broke.
No, Marion. You're dead broke. At least he's alive broke.
Oh, too much mulligan stew.
Speaking of stews, what happened to Neil?
What's he doing?
Oh, he's drinking canned heat.
Well, when in Rome.
Coming out.
Mr. Topper, the board has reached a decision. We outvoted him.
Yeah, we're going to be rich.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if you'll stop by my place tonight, we'll discuss things further.
Well, thank you, sir. Here is a token of my best wishes for the lady of your choice.
Thank you.
I'm your choice, Topper. Here, let me wear it in my hair.
Well, good day, gentlemen. I'll see you this evening.
Hey,
Bo. What time's the next ride to leave for Louisville?
Hey, this guy looks like a live one. Let's hit him up for a handout.
Well, really, you two. I've learned to expect almost everything, but why are you dressed as a couple of hobos?
What do you mean, a couple of hobos?
Can't you tell the difference? I'm a hebo.
And I'm a shebo.
You put on these outfits so your pal Farrington won't feel out of place.
Go on, Topper. Open the door and let them see what the high-class type of tramp is wearing this year.
You know perfectly well they can't see you. Now, just keep out of the way.
Good evening, Mr. Topper. I hope we're on time.
Hiya, Topper.
Hiya.
Good evening.
How do you like that? A bunch of bums making us look like bums.
Well, I must say you look very different from when I last saw you. But, well, why are we standing here? Come right into the living room.
Thank you, sir.
Skip it, Neo. They double-crossed us.
Henrietta, this is Wesley Farrington. And Shorty and Cupid.
How do you do?
My wife, Mrs. Topper.
Enchanté.
Gee, what a joint.
Sure ain't no piano crate.
You must forgive my associates, Mrs. Topper. You see, they're both quite new to the executive class.
Henrietta, will you pass the hors d'oeuvre?
Oh, good.
Gee, thanks.
Shorty, you mustn't take them all.
Oh, sorry. Here, Cupid.
No, sir, not the last one. I don't want to be no old maid.
Well, make yourselves at home, gentlemen. Henrietta, Mr. Farrington and his associates are going to be with us for a few days while certain business matters are cleared away.
Just as you say, Cosmo. I'll see that the guest room is in order.
Now that we've all met, gentlemen, I see no reason why we can't get down to business.
Here's the stock, Mr. Schuyler.
Oh, fine. Now, actually, this is merely a simple formality we have to perform here today. All I need is your signature, Mr. Farrington, and you will be one of the biggest railroad stockholders in the world.
Yes, I understand, Mr. Schuyler, but first I would like to say a few words. You see...
Don't try to stop me. I'm going in there. All right now. Which one of you is Farrington?
Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
I am Wesley Farrington, sir.
Fine, then I'll not waste time. I've got money, and I want to keep control of that railroad. What's your price?
Oh, well, you see,
Oh, come on, speak up. How much?
Really, Mika? You can't come charging in here like this.
I'm going to let my money do my talking for me, Schuyler. I'm willing to pay half again what that stock is worth. And believe me, this bank isn't going to handle any of the transactions.
Shall I belch him, Wesley?
No, QP. What he's saying is very interesting.
Oh, then we can do business. Excuse me just a minute. Pay to the order of Wesley Farrington, eh?
Well, he can't sell out to that crook, George.
Don't worry, honey. This is one check that's going to bounce before it's even written.
Well, come on, speak up. How much is it? I'm in the position to write a check for any amount. What is it? What for heaven's sake?
Seems like an odd position you picked, Mr. Mika.
Good work, George.
It's been a Charleston contest. He'd have won it easy.
Well, what happened? I was...
You better be seated, Mr. Meeker, and calm yourself.
Yes,
Apparently, you came here to buy my interest in the B&L.
Yes?
You can forget about that because it just isn't for sale.
Nonsense. There's a price on everything.
No, that's where you're wrong, Mr. Meeker. I've turned over the stock to Mr. Schuyler, and he's to see to it that all benefits derived from the stock shall be turned over to charity.
Charity?
Yes, Mr. Meeker. I'm afraid that's a word that you haven't had much occasion to use.
This is unheard of. Only a man out of his mind would do such a thing.
Shall we give him the right treatment, George?
I think so, dear.
He bores me.
Schuyler, you plotted this whole thing. I'll get even, though. You'll see. I may be licked now, but I'll get even.
Why?
You'll see.
Say, what is this?
What's happening? I'll sue you. I'll sue you. I'll take you to the highest court. I'll fight you every inch.
I'd better get that rug nailed down.
You sure made a good speech, Wesley. Can we go home now?
Yeah, I want to get rid of this outfit. It feels funny. Look, there ain't a rip in it.
Yes, I think we can go home now, boys. I'm sure the sweet peas need watering. Well, goodbye, gentlemen. Mr. Topper.
Goodbye, Farrington.
Mr. Schuyler. It's really been wonderful knowing both of you.
Topper, I'm worried. Hobos owning railroads, checks flying around, and that rug shooting out of the room. And a man gives away $6.5 million. I think maybe this job's becoming too much for me.
Oh, nonsense. Why, you belong in your job.
You really think so?
Why, of course. Why, there isn't anyone who can take your place.
Yeah, thank you, Topper. You made me feel much better.